So guys, this is my weekly report for November the 16th. Give you a little caption what I did this week. I was at Bodega Bay for a couple of days this last weekend, doing some Dungeness crab fishing. It was a little bumpy out there. It's doable, but it was a little bumpy. Took my grandson Dylan and he got sicker than a dog. But we caught a lot of crabs, had a good time out there. We were soaking in 85 to 100 feet. Remember, you only can use the nets and you have to pull them every 2 hours. You can't leave them overnight, so you got to pull them and pull them back up. But the crabs are pretty plentiful. Like I said, we were in 85 to 100 feet of water, and we did quite well. Then I came back, and then, of course, I headed to the Delta and went out stripers. Took Warren and Denise. We're going to do a little video out there and stuff, and we went out inside Liberty and we were throwing big topwater lures, and Lucky Warren hooks a big one. It's probably a teener or bigger, you can't tell. We were only in like 3 feet of water. We just heard a big old swoosh and he was holding on for dear life, and that fish was pulling out line out of his rod and ran maybe about, 50 feet and popped off. And then he told me, he goes, I think my drag was too loose. Well, whatever. So like that to me is a rookie mistake. But we also went bass fishing. We caught a lot of bass. The water temperature was about the same. It was like 58 degrees, 59. And we caught a lot of bass, caught them all flipping. We were using rage calls and brush hogs. And I think the key this time of the year in the winter and the fall is that you want to use a heavy weight. So I'm flipping in like anywhere from probably 2 to 4 feet of water, and I'm using a 1 ounce sinker, pegged. And you can watch some of the videos I did on flipping on brush hogs and stuff, and I do it the same way. Then, after we caught a lot of bass, we went and looked for the crappie tree again, located the tree, and actually, like Warren and Dave went out when I was in Texas, and they went out and they couldn't find the tree. He thought he did, but he didn't. He didn't catch any. So we go out, I locate the tree, I put the live on, and boom, the tree's loaded. And we start crappie fishing, and we caught some nice ones. They're getting bigger. Biggest one's probably, a little over a pound, but they're actually getting bigger. And this is the time of the year in the winter when you want to fish for the crappie. They are so tide related over there. On outgoing, you could get bites one after another. Then when the tide slows down, start coming in, you get one here and one there. You have to have anywhere from 1/16 is probably the most common weight I use, and then I use as heavy as 1/8. And I'm just using little crappie jigs or Kitex or Strike King's little crappie jigs. And pearl seems to be one of the best, pearl and chartreuse. So those are the two key colors that work really well. Okay, other things going on in the area besides what I'm doing. The bluefin is still on. Guys are still catching them. Like I said, Half Moon Bay, you probably have to go maybe 10 to 15 miles. Out of Bodega, you're going to be going 25 to 35 miles out. And at Fort Bragg, they're like 10 to 20 miles out. They're still catching them. If you want to get out there and go get a bluefin, I tell you, it's still time to go after them. Other things going on, I know Rick Powers over there in Bodega Bay and Cal Don, they're going out and they're doing the crab bottomfish combo in deep water. So they're going out there in 350, 400 feet of water, fishing for the bottom fish, and then coming back in and loading up on crabs. The crabs, I think they're soaking in like 200 feet, and they're getting nice ones. So you're going to go out on one of those boats, and you're going to come back with a sack full of big fish and big crabs. So right now it's probably a good time. As the fall comes, the ocean kind of settles down, so you might want to get on one of those trips. And also, they're probably still catching some halibut. I haven't heard too much. The bait receiver might be open. I'm not sure. You'd have to call and check to make sure. I know a lot of stripers have kind of left the bay and they're starting to move upstream. So they're going to be up in the Martinez to Rio Vista area. They're starting to show up pretty good now. I anticipate, if we get a rain, like it's cloudy and starting to act like it's going to rain, I think it's just going to go crazy. Should have a good year on striped bass real quick here. As soon as we get a little bit of weather, I'm pretty sure they're going to be all over in the Delta. They usually stay in the Delta all the way till spawning season, so they're down there for 3 months, and they move in all these flooded islands. They basically will go wherever the food is. So I anticipate it to be a really good striper season this year. Sturgeon, I know they're catching a lot of sturgeon, probably from Martinez to Pittsburgh area, and you still use your old report card, until the end of the year. You're allowed 3 fish a year, but starting in 2024 in January, you're only allowed 1 white sturgeon, and the slot limit's going to change to 42 to 48 inch, and you're only allowed 1 a year. But the sturgeon fishing is happening right now. The guys are really doing well on roe if you could get any, and they're also catching them on eel and shrimps if you can find it. So other than that, we're going to come in a little further. Trout fishing as the weather cools to get in the fall. I'm going to be heading up to Berryessa here pretty quick, and as soon as I get a little taste of that lake turning over, I'm going to try speed trolling for those Eagle Lake trout in there, where I just take a Rapala shad wrap, like a 5 or a 7. Most likely I'll use a 7, and set it back about 100 feet behind the boat and go about 2.5, 3 mile an hour. And it's a blast when you get into them. And I'm sure they're gonna start planting the lakes pretty quick here. So I know Comanche's still been putting out, probably Collins, Folsom, Amador. They're all gonna start turning on here real quick because the weather's cooling, and they'll start planting those lakes. But I know you could go out there right now and should be able to catch them. Bass fishing, the Delta, like I said, it's been really good for me, and I know a lot of guys have been doing really well. When the water temperature drops in the 50s, I'm doing catching a lot of these northern fish that are somewhere in that 3 to 5 pound range. You don't get no giants, but they're a lot of fun to catch. The lakes will start turning over. I'm going to be getting my spoons out. Berryessa, Folsom, I did videos last year on Folsom and Berryessa, with the spoons, and that's all coming up here real quick, and it's a blast because when you can get onto them, you can't catch them any faster than, dropping a spoon down there. And one of the best spoons to use is either a Castmaster or a Blade Runner, 1 3/4 ounce or a 1 ounce Castmaster. Those are my 2 go-to spoons that I love doing. So other than that, the fishing during the fall usually picks up, so you're anticipating you could just about go out and do all kinds of stuff. Crappie fishing, like I said, is starting to turn on. In the Delta, you can go into any dead-end sloughs. I've been in Prospect, you can go to Snodgrass, you can go to Whiskey Slough. There's a lot of areas where you can go out and catch a lot of crappie. So other than that, fishing's good. You can do fresh saltwater. But upcoming here real quick is going to be fall turkey season, November 11th to December 10th. And remember, you can use air gun. This is my PCP, and I could actually shoot them out over 100 yards really easy. So if you're out there with a shotgun, you have to call them in or have them walk by you, and they have to be probably within 50 yards in order for you to kill them. With this PCP, I could shoot them out over 100. Very easy. So it's one of the very few states they let you do that, in California. So, I'm big time in PCP air guns. And if you got any questions, you could always just ask me. So other than that, like on January 2024, I'm going to I'm officially retiring, and I'm going to be opening a consultant. So if you got problems with your electronics, or you want to learn how to really use it, you can get a hold of me. And I also going to do consulting on fishing. So basically what I do is, say you want to target bass and you want to learn how I go about finding them in the fall in the Delta. We would go out and I would show you from the rod, reels, the line, how to tie it on, you know, what I'm looking for, and how I actually basically go and locate these fish and also catch them. But I'm doing it as a consultant where I'm actually gonna teach you how to do it. So that's gonna be all coming up starting on the first of the year. So there's a way you could get a hold of me. You could get a hold of me at alanfongoutdoors@gmail.com, or you can call 669-250-3664 and I'll get back to you. Right now, if you already dialed the number and left me a message, I will get a hold of you. I'm just putting everything together and lining everything up. But if you already did it once, just don't worry. I've been writing everything down, and I will contact you and then set something up. Probably by middle of December, I'll start calling people just to fill in the dates, because I'm probably only going to do it a couple days a week. So anything as far as, you know, you want to learn about your electronics, I would either go on your boat and show you, or you can go on mine. Like if you want to know how the live system works before you bought one, I could take you out and show you. Other than that, every Saturday morning, if you're on your way out fishing at 6:40 in the morning, California Sportsman's 1140 on the AM dial, you can turn it on and listen to me for about 5 minutes, and I always talk about what's going on at that time. So also I do have sweatshirts, t-shirts, and hats that I'm going to be selling, so it'll help support my channel. You can pay by Venmo, or, you know, if I see you somewhere and we meet or something, I could slide it on a credit card. So that's all available now. So if you want to get a hold of me, you could also call me or email me at the same number at 669-250-3664 or alanfongoutdoors@gmail.com. So thanks for watching. Hit that like and please subscribe, because you'll really help the channel out. And I'll see you guys next week.